I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is October 13th, Monday, 2025. Hope you had a good weekend, good holiday. So I'm going to make the video only because of the fact that a lot has happened, but and just to recap as well from yesterday, from Friday, real quick, just so you know, tweet, Trump did not move this price down. They were going to do this regardless. If you know, I've been calling about us selling between the 6th and the 10th or the 8th or whatever to sell down. And sure enough, they waited till the 10th because the 10th is generally, I'm speaking from seasonal data, is when the 10th starts to push it up, right? Sometimes the 4th to the 10th, right? But we were expecting, the idea is the big sell-off, right? And, I was like, when we had even this sell-off here on this top left, I was like, that's kind of shallow. I'm surprised we didn't come in here, and they lingered, and then they did it on the 10th. Why? It's Friday, right? Especially. So yes, just so you know, algorithmically, no, Trump did not do that. Okay. And then he did not bring the price right to that weekly imbalance that I've had this drawn all this time, and it closed on 50% of that weekly imbalance. There's no way. But what's the bigger picture? I want you to look at the weekly chart real quick. And I only have two lines on the weekly. I'm talking about these green lines. What's that? That was the all-time high. What did we do? We broke through it. We bounced on it, right? Support. We pushed up. Then we broke that high. I mean, I'm going to move this over. See that? You can see this, right? Then we made these highs, and then we came down, right? And then we busted through that this whole time, okay? On the daily, you can see the three drives, right? You can see the three drives here, right? So push up 1, retrace. Push up 2, retrace. Push up 3, that's where we were, right? So that's just, but look where they came back to, that breakout level. So it's not the end of the world, okay? But look, especially the weekly, look at those two green lines on my chart. We came right to it. So yes, no, I'm sorry. If anyone really thinks that, and I know people been talking about it on the internet already, and I'm late to the party, but I was just busy and I couldn't make videos. But this right here is letting you know that that's specifically algorithmic. Okay, it's scam, bro. But anyways, the point is that the seasonality is we're supposed to get a sell before the quarter really starts, right? Okay, so let me move forward real quick, and then here. I'm gonna try to keep this time frame here. Go to a 5-minute real quick, and then kind of like just again. I know I didn't do but there were signs on the wall here, but I was already finished by before London. So the thing is that this when I caught that buy, caught the buy from here. No, I'm sorry, here yesterday, not yesterday, Thursday. Sorry, and then pushing up. But it's going to either sell from above that high or below that high, which I'm talking about Thursday's high. Notice how they squeezed up real high, and it's also a swing. Candle Thursday, if it's a swing, Thursday's candle is candle 2, right? Candle 3 is this push down. Now, where were the writings on the wall? What I just mentioned already to you right now, number 1. Number 2, price was stalling. It wasn't going anywhere. It was a small range, even though it wasn't bad. It was 100 points though, and it was just stalling, and it wouldn't keep pushing up, right? But you don't want to overstay your welcome anyway on a Friday after London close anyway. But the first imbalance here, we pushed through it. God, there's a lot to say here, but there's an inversion here. You can see. Well, on the 1 minute, I actually drew it. I'm going to go to it real quick. See if I can go to it. I got to make this video short, dude. And I might be changing my times of when I do videos. But look at this 1 minute. You can see the 3 drives here. You can see 1, 2, 3. I already got it highlighted. And here you can see we blow right through that. You can see here, even if I push this all the way out, you can see that we're knocking on that 50%. Even if I move this guy over here, right? Perfectly. and then staggering here and then blowing through. I'm going to go to a 5 minute so you can see it. They didn't seal that opening range there. And then you can also see that if I was to have drawn this, just for a second, you can see the body sitting in here. It's really here because this is where the gap opens. But you can see here that we're just stuck there, right? So price shouldn't be down here if it's going to be buying. It's not a high or low. It's just very suspect is what I'm really trying to say. And then it not sealing the opening range gap and it being already in a premium. I mean, you're not trying to buy up here either, right? So that just explains that. And then they just sank it the whole day, dude. So what was I gonna say here? And then again, like a birdie day that I talk about, if it's completely bullish, right? What do? Well, they fan up and they just keep buying, right? And in this case, this is a sinker, all right? So it's a low, lower, high, low, lower, high, low, lower, high, and it just stays like that. So sell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. Closes low. And that's the other thing. Logically, and the experience shows you that this type of day, the it's not gonna like bounce back up. It's gonna close at the end of the day. So the low, in this case a selling day, the low is going to be by the closing. So it's gonna be, that's another reason why someone can also hold a trade like this. So yeah. Let me delete this one. This one is not important. But yeah, man. So coming right to that imbalance on the weekly, perfectly closing at 50%. No way, dude. Sorry. I mean, we're talking about like, it's perfect. It was like it's off by like a point. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't make that up, dude. Trump did not do that, right? It's impossible. Look at that. Look at the level here and look at the closes, right? Anyways, let me move forward. So looking at this, and I'm sorry I couldn't do videos, but I'm looking at this whole range here and projecting it down, coming to the 2 to 2.5. And then when they gap up today, Sunday, look how big that gap is. You want to stay away from this market a little bit, right? Because it's too uncertain. You're sitting in the middle of price action, number one. Number two, you gapped up, so you have a chance of it coming back down for this. Do they leave this open is going to be the magic question. I don't see how they do. I think that's super illegal. I think that's super bogus. But, we are now the 13th, and we should be rolling. We should be going. So, oversold here. But anyways, pushed up already back up here to where? Breakout levels. Aren't these breakout levels right here? Very, very obvious, coming for the liquidity here. So imbalance and, well, besides the liquidity of the move, imbalance and breakout level, right? So I'm gonna delete that for a second. Going to today's, again, it's a holiday, so bank holiday doesn't help. And you got pretty much a speaker here. And so origin here of Asia range, high, low. We come up, mean reversion, so then 930 dips down to the 25% of the opening range gap. I was trying to shoot for this, they wouldn't give it to me, but that's okay. I'm gonna delete this now. Caught this sell here, and also caught this sell here. So I was bearish. No, okay, I wasn't bearish, but I was trying to get into the opening range gap and seal it. Now, I wasn't going to trade today, but I was like, man, it's all good. No big deal, and then I stopped really early. But the point is that this price, when we rated that low. And then the structure, if they were going to keep pushing up, was when we pushed up here, this could have been a shift of structure. So high, higher, low. 2 drives back down, 2 drives down here, stops, doesn't take that out, and then makes a new high, right? So I'm going to just draw it real quick. Even though I see this as a speaker, when you're rating, you want to kind of go the other way, but I'll just do it this way. So with the push down, that's an expansion. So with this push up like this, that's an expansion. Is it a retrace? Is this a retrace to then push back down? I don't know if we're bearish. But if it's an expansion, I'm going to just call it a reversal. And if this is bullish from here, because obviously seasonality, we should be pushing up. The structure was like this. So it finally made a high here after these push-ups, right? And then it retraced twice. So once, twice, which is that 930 right there. Then we make a new high and then we retrace. All right, that's a shift. It's a possible shift if this isn't a consolidation and we rated and then we expand again, right? So this is how that looked like here. So high, the two retraces back for the higher low. Then an internal high could be the shift, a higher low, and then it did make a new high. So also, if I delete this, you can see that we were consolidating. If you're going to continue pushing up, you want to see a rate. It does rate at 930. And then this, they come all the way back here. Look at the signs here before in the sell. I have these gaps here. These are from old weak gaps as well. We're playing around that. That's how I caught this sell. And you can see here, we make a higher low, and then we break it, right? And then you can see us using the bodies of this this actual imbalance right there. You see that? You can see us here, and then we reach into that imbalance and these up candles, and specifically that last up candle with the body. If I draw the line, I didn't need to, but so you can see it. Obviously, you can see it because it's the top of the. That's very specific, and then boom, closes. I end up getting in here. I'll put it in the thumbnail. There's so much to talk about. So we push down. Let me finish this up. Let me squinch it up. So we push down here, and then we raid the pre-New York low right there, right? And stopping at the 25% specifically. Then we have these two imbalances here. Now, if it was going to keep going, it should have rolled over here. So this doesn't make a new low. Then you get this stupid candle 942. You should never see that, right? So obviously they wanted to, it's a speaker and they're coming up to take out liquidity to the left, right? Which is pre 930. And you can see here, we come to the first imbalance. Here we come back in, midnight level, coupled literally at that 50% of the imbalance. Use it as support, and then we push up, especially bouncing right there too, right? Then, and then I'm like, okay, that might be the shift. So I'm selling anyway because I'm still kind of bearish here. And then it stops again, and I'm like, oh, you bastards. But understanding that could be the high and then a higher low, and that's what ended up panning up. So, but it's because of today being a holiday and not really, having high expectations to trade either way. You can see both sides of the market, can't you? And sure enough, they squeezed up, right? Because obviously this is like so obvious to come to, and it would make sense for them to come down here, because also if you have limit orders or buy stops right here, someone's placing those stops here, and we gap up like that. I was gonna say it in the community tab, but it was gonna be obvious that we were gonna gap. Number one, number two, gap where it looks like it's gonna gap down, but I was like, no, this thing's gonna gap up. And how did I know that? It's because of the fact that we fell so far, and there's so much liquidity. I mean, a guy here, last resort wanting to sell here, that's so you could close your eyes and fucking sell here, but that's why the gap up real quick. And we did sweep the Asia low and the Asia high, so it's Monday. It's an accumulation day, so you want to let today kind of just flow by anyway and see what we get for the week. So that's just pretty much it. And then comes back into here, and it's pretty much sitting in there. And then we expand. RSI was really nice in the beginning of the day, though. Fuck, look at this, beautiful. Another reason this buy signal here, and you're sitting on 25%. If it's bullish, it's gonna go there. But ranging here, even here again, coming right back up to here. It's pretty sick. Let me put the first bounce of the PM session. I was not even near the computer. Where were we here? Okay, so let's take a look. No. And yeah, one of these. This one looks more so either that one or that one, but I'm gonna just go with this one for now. All right. And get darker because today's Monday. All right, and then fucking sitting in there now. So I gotta go, but let me show you this. The writing on the wall as well. Here, you can see that pre 930, we had a higher high with Nas. That's why I took this sell. And then when we came down, which is a beautiful move, we made lower lows here with Nas. Speaker for us. Then we had higher lows with them, and I was like, oh, bitch. So a great buy. I didn't buy it though. And then it pushed up here. We came back up here, and then we had a little divergence with these candles. Is 1010 and 1005, 5-minute chart. And then we took out liquidity to the left, the top side, and now we want to come back down. Came back down, and then we had pretty much a lower low here with S&P, and by a hair. I mean, it might even be equal, but I count that as a lower low in this case, and it's a divergence. And then confirmation here was us with the higher lows on the 5-minute. You see it pushing up, and then we had lower lows there. So, and then we just pushed up. So, BIX dollar here was whatever. Still, again, these bullish imbalances are holding. Came out there, and now we're kind of stuck here. But again, seasonality wise, dollar should be pushing up more. But we'll see how it goes. And I don't normally bring VIX out here, but I'll do it for now. But you'll see that it was stupid push up on Friday, and giving you all the direction, and then we gapped here, and we were moving down with VIX. That's why we're kind of pushing up here, but won't even go into too much detail with that. But I'll try to bring it out more. Dow, I was mentioning, this pennant here and whatever, just engineered liquidity, and yes, we were bullish, but it still made sense to wipe all this out. It was just so. I mean, again, even if you look at the ranges, if I'm going to talk ranges here, I mean, from this low to this high, it's a huge range, right? But even if I didn't count that as a whole range, and I just looked at this higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? From here, all this is just higher high and higher low, very tight range, and it's not really the range, right? And then pushing back, you're probably almost at a 50% here now, right? So it kind of just is what it is on one of those things, right? See 50%, right? So logically, it's logical for them to do it all in one day on Friday. It's fucking bogus. That's just nothing else I can tell you. And then we came back to 50% of this range. Man, dude, this is bogus. So great support area as well. If we're talking like basic retail. Again, we're bullish. We should be pushing up, but man, I want them to at least tap the gap. So it's going to be hard to move forward for me, especially because, I just feel like this is going to be unfinished business. But we'll see, man. Look at Dow. So not only did they create an opening range gap that large, but they didn't even tap the gap here. So it's like, I just feel like even in a bullish market, I expect to still make a expansion. Let it be all these are still drives, and then a retrace. Bink, right? Have a retrace and then back to an expansion. So I just feel like this is not done, because I have not seen a gap like this size and not get filled in a very long time, especially with the size. If it was smaller, maybe. But this big, I don't know, man. But seasonality wise, I'm still going to say we're bullish, right? Like, even though you think this is a major drop, we're headed for hell here, or to zero. Well, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, but it is overextended. We understood that. And then again with S&P, very similar, like constant pushing up here. Ranges. Look at the ranges here, and then this became like that range right now. As just general speaking, I'm looking at this whole range, and you can see we're sitting at like a 70 right now or a 61. But also we have those previous weeks gap. We came right to it. I mean, look, you really think Donald Trump pushed Friday's low right to the gap at the low? I mean, come on, dude. Like, what kind of logic is that? Right? It's an excuse. They just use them as a fall guy. There's no other way to look at it. I don't care what anybody says, you know. But that little debate on the internet, it's like, okay, no, I knew this was manipulated before I even started trading or even knew what the market was. Okay, so, you ain't going to tell me buyers and sellers did that. Why would anybody want to sell it? Why would anybody want to push the price down anyway? Everyone wants to be a buyer and push it up. That's proof that when you get these pullbacks, that's not buyers and sellers doing that. Nobody wanted the price to fucking come down from here. Why would they want to do that? Just think about that. It doesn't even make sense. Everyone, if you look at the percentage of who's buying, it's probably 90 fucking percent buying. Right? So how the price get here? Okay. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting a little extra. And then again, they didn't come near it either. Dude, I think Asia London's gonna push this shit back down. Oh no, if they leave this here, that's bogus. That should be illegal. They gotta fix this. In my opinion, I think they do. And I've been talking about the weekly. I was talking about we were bumping on that weekly overbought. And I was like, that's alarming. And sure enough, there you go. I was talking about selling this whole fucking past days. And sure enough, that's how they did it. But hey, don't be worried if you're reevaluating your whole life because you missed that or something. I used to do that when I was a beginner trader. Dude, there's moves every day. It doesn't matter, you know? But that's too perfect. That's perfect. Bro, that's fucking perfect. Stop it. Come on. Anyways, breakout level, breakout level. Beautiful. Look at that. It's fucking beautiful. But I will say this, we are bullish. And the seasonality calls for it. And if they leave this open, oh well. Just keep going. Because the weekly shows like a swing as of now. That's a great pullback to buy from. So look at the daily. Finally pushing back down. And they didn't even do that there. Sorry, I'm just talking out loud real quick. I mean, still bullish. I mean, there's no wick on the week right now. So again, I'm looking for Tuesday or Wednesday to somehow dip into here. If it does, do I need to draw it now? And then am I missing something? Nvidia also the big drop, and then they got a big stupid gap too. It should be illegal. They missed this gap here. I don't know. I don't think the bottom side's done for now, but doesn't mean I'm like bearish. Just hope that makes sense. So I explained all this, right? Then then it becomes like a birdie, and it's high, higher, low, high, higher, low, high, higher, low, high, and then speakering right there. Just holiday stuff. But I did this projection here, and coming up to a 101.5 here. We're missing that gap up here. We'll see, but they're just laying in that. Very, very challenging. I feel like I'm missing something. There was another thing I wanted to mention, which was when we bought here, we were at a one. Shit. Can I find this? I measured, if you recall. Oh no, maybe you didn't recall. I measured this right here. I think it was from the bodies. Was it the bodies or the highs? Hold on. Come on. Well, for that right now, I'll just leave it at that. But the bodies here, this last move down before we pushed up, we came into a 1 and 1.5. We were sitting, but it was actually a one. How did I do it? It was, I think it was the whole. Yeah, it was the whole. The whole. We hit a -1 right there, perfectly, like literally. And then remember, we didn't take out Thursday's high, but that was also a very big suspect thing. But little double top right there, and okay, whatever, man, whatever. Who cares? But I talked about this stuff here, right? And did I make a long video? 25 minutes. Do I need to draw this? Okay, so yeah. Hold on a second. Let me just look at the seasonality. Again, being the 13th, dude. Hold on. I'm again. Okay, I'm gonna just say it like this. In any case, I don't give a damn what phase of price this is in. This is literally equilibrium, but I am expecting something like this. Period. I mean, you know, okay. If it keeps buying, fine. I don't see that coming back into here somewhere. Quad this up. I'm gonna quad it now. At least tap in. I mean, I've seen gaps like this where they tap it and they take off, but it's not favorable right now. That shit makes the market suck for real, and they do that shit on purpose. Obviously, what am I doing? You know what I mean? But let me just move this over. We'll see how that goes there. But hey, I mean, the thing is the problem is the big problem with this is that this is such a huge gap that if we come back down here, hey, we might even come. It might, I mean, that might be a problem. So I don't want to seal it. I want to be bullish. It's just easier to be bullish, obviously. But if it's bearish and so I'm looking for. I really don't know what to tell you, to be honest with you. But in a perfect world, I'd like to see something like this at least, or fucking even, come and just raid that, seal it. I want to see like a bearish day. I would have liked to have seen a bearish day and have a body closure on the daily. Right now, we don't have a closure on there, but we just ran right through that support and bounced all the way up, dude. So, if let's just pretend there was no gap here, and I would just expect, if there was no gap here, I would expect this regardless. I would expect a bounce up and a push back down, high or low, from expansion to retracement to then expansion. That's my perfect world. Okay, if it's bearish and we don't come back up, then I'm gonna want to see something like, oh shit, I should have drawn it. I should have drew it this way. Bearish. I don't see how we could be. I don't know. This doesn't make sense. But we'll just say that's the case. Excuse me. And I don't know. But not really excited to trade this. As far as scalping day trading, where prices are likely to go, okay, cool. You can use some of the ranges of the opening range gap. You could use liquidity to the left a little bit, but I wouldn't force nothing here, and I would just wait for more clarity and whatever. But right now, that daily, we're being held in this daily imbalance as well. We came right into that. We're sitting at that 50. So that's why that bearish scenario, like if we did this and this is support, that's a breakout, then I want to just, hey, fuck it. Just come back down again one more time for an extra drive So then we could say we've accomplished this and you've, whatever, and then let's go back up. But however long that takes, we'll see. But if you're bullish, you're going to want to get back above this 50% and you want to use that. Whereas inefficiency and liquidity. Well, here's liquidity void and inefficiency. And then above here is inefficiency. Right? So, I mean, for them to just push up from here right now with that there, it's just so hard to believe that, but the seasonality shows that we should be going. But maybe we don't have that this year. I don't know. We'll see, but you guys take care. God bless.